The Shadow of Fu Manchu. Based on the stories by Sax Rohmer. Smith, Kerrigan, and Petrie, having escaped from the torture room of Fu Manchu, find themselves in another room that is fast filling with a deadly gas. However, Adatta leads them to safety. Dr. Fu Manchu, having given Rudolph Adlon an hour in which to leave Venice, sends for Adatta to punish her for her disloyalty to the Sea Fund. Under his spell, Adatta is hypnotized and unable to recognize Kerrigan. Smith and his companions burst in upon them, but Fu Manchu disappears through a trap door, taking the helpless Adatta with him. Smith, Petrie, and Kerrigan notify the authorities, and accompanied by the Italian police, they motor out to the Palazzo Brioni, which adjoins the Palazzo Mori, and consult Paolo, the servant of Brownlow Wilton, the owner of the yacht Silver Heels. As Paolo leads them through various rooms, there is a shriek, and as they reach an underground pool...
Good Lord. It's Rudolph Adlon. Quick, Lazio. Is there a grappling hook in the launch?
See, Smith, it is.
Hurry, have it brought here at once. We must get him out of that pool.
He's still alive. I saw his hand move.
What do you suppose keeps him underwater? Look!
Piranha. This pool is full of them.
What are they, Smith?
A species of small man-eating fish, Kerrigan. They're commonly found in the Amazon River. Fu Manchu no doubt had them brought here for this specific reason.
Horrible. Look, the water's getting red.
It is the grappling hook, Senor Smith.
Never mind now. It's too late.
But we can't leave him in there, Nayland.
Why, there are at least 20 of those fish in there. That's more than enough to finish a man in 2 minutes.
And to think that fiend has our daughter in his clutches.
Oh, I don't believe he'll harm her, Kerrigan. She's useful to him.
Look, Nayland. A trapdoor in the ceiling.
By Jove. Right over the pool. Come on, I want to look at that room above.
This is terrible, gentlemen. I am afraid it might cause serious international complications.
Yes, Lazio. Fu Manchu wanted to avert war, and now he may be the cause of it.
I'm afraid so.
What of Pietro Monagani? Did he arrive?
No, Senor Smith, he wired that unforeseen circumstances would not permit him to leave the capital.
Well, this must be the room. Oh, yes. No doubt these were Adlon's quarters.
Careful, Smith. The trap may spring open.
I know. There are the lines of the trap. Right in the tiles on the floor.
Look here, Nayland. An electric clock.
Oh, let me see it, Petrie. Very clever. You see, Petrie, the hands of the clock are set to the hour that was given Adlon. Let's see. Yes, I'm right. These wires here lead to the trap door and open it automatically at the appointed time.
But how did Fu Manchu know that Adlon was standing on the trap?
He was probably pacing the floor. But we'll never find out just how it was accomplished. The fact remains, Adlon is dead.
Yes, Smith, and well calculated. Do you realize that if we hadn't entered the room below exactly when we did, Adlon would never have been found? he would have vanished without a trace.
Oh, yes, the piranha would have left nothing. That pool must be drained at once.
My men have searched both buildings, Senor Smith. There isn't a trace of anyone.
Yes, Lazio. I suspected as much. But at least we're getting closer and closer to our prey. Gentlemen, I have an idea where we might find Dr. Fu.
Where,
What do you mean, Smith?
On Brownlow Wilton's yacht, the Silver Heels. Are you ready, Petrie?
Yes, Nayland. Where's Kerrigan?
I've sent him to Paris.
Oh, but why, Nayland?
I've had a report from the railroad authorities that 2 women answering the description of Ardatha and Coriani left on a Paris-bound train.
Well, I hope he doesn't attempt anything rash. You know his feelings toward Ardata.
Oh, I don't think we need to worry about that. I instructed him to make a thorough search of all hotels. He'll contact me immediately if he finds anything of importance.
Is Correnti coming with us?
No, he's standing by here. Lazio's bringing the launch around. The Silver Heels has answered the radio call and is waiting for us.
Huh. What does it all mean, Nayland?
Only one member of the household, the butler, knows anything about the secret rooms. Fu Manchu, who knew about them, seized his opportunity.
Well, I don't quite see
And
how...
Wilton, who knew Adlon, was in a position to entertain him. A luncheon on board his yacht is arranged. Naturally, there are servants of Fu Manchu on the ship. You follow me?
So far, yes. But how about Ardata and Coriani?
Well, we can safely assume that both attended that party. So Adlon meets Coriani. He's attracted. She makes it her business to see that he'll be attracted.
It all sounds very logical, Nayland.
Why, of course it is. Kerrigan witnessed her making a rendezvous with Adlon. We know what happened then.
I wonder why the Silver Heels left so suddenly.
That's hard to say. But I'm sure Ardatha and Coriani aren't on the yacht.
And Fu Manchu?
I don't know if he is, but I do know that Brownlow Wilton's in danger. Petrie, he's running away from something, in deadly fear of his life.
I am afraid we may have trouble boarding the yacht in the sea, Senor Smith.
We ought to sight her any minute now.
Lay your searchlight ahead.
Ah, there she is.
Yes, you're right, Petrie. And they're expecting us. The companionway's down.
Get it alongside as easy as possible.
Si, senor.
Tonio, Scapo, you stay in the launch. Make it fast.
Here we go. Come on.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening. I'm Nayland Smith. Mr. Wilton's expecting me.
I am Mr. Wilton. It's a very great pleasure to have you gentlemen on board. It is also a great surprise. I don't pretend to understand it, but you're very welcome. Let's all step down to my quarters.
Thank you, sir.
Make yourselves comfortable, gentlemen.
Mr. Wilton, this is Dr. Petrie and Signor Lazio of the Venice Police.
How do you? And now, Mr. Smith, may I ask what this is all about?
Well, it's rather difficult to explain. To begin with, where are your guests?
My guests? I have no guests.
What?
No, those I had staying on board, there were only 4, returned by the late express to Paris. I'm alone with my crew.
What were the names of those 4?
The Count and Countess Baratoff, Mr. Van D. and Miss Morano.
Oh. Who is Miss Murano?
A friend of the Countess.
What does she look like?
Oh, she has unusually beautiful Titian hair.
Ardata.
Yes. Tell me, Mr. Wilton, where did you make this lady's acquaintance?
In London, 4 weeks ago. I asked her to join us here, and she consented.
And how long have you known the Baratoffs?
I realize that you're acting with full authority, gentlemen. But may I ask in what way my friends are concerned?
Mr. Wilton, your own future's at stake. Early tonight, a crime was committed in Venice that may change the history of all Europe.
Crime? Please explain.
I've no time for details. I merely ask for your cooperation. Please describe the Countess to me.
A very lovely woman. Tall, slender, fine, fascinating eyes. Brilliantly green.
She wears long green jade earrings, doesn't she?
How did you know?
Dr. Petrie and I have met the lady before. And you say they all left by the Paris Express?
All of them.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Lopez?
A radiogram, sir.
Thank you. A personal matter, gentlemen. It's of no importance.
Who engaged your present crew, Mr. Wilton?
My secretary.
Have any of them worked for you before?
No, I never saw any of them before.
You're quite sure, Mr. Wilton, that there was not another reason for your sudden departure? I mean, you haven't by any chance received a notice from the Sea Fan?
How can you know that?
It's my business to know, Mr. Wilton.
I received 2. I got a 3rd while Adlon was on board. Yes, I admit I was running away. Now you have the truth.
I thought as much. What were your orders from the CFAM?
I was ordered to come here to Venice, and I was ordered to give that lunch on board to Adlon. Now I'm told to leave as fast as I can get away. This whole trip was made in obedience to those orders.
Mr. Wilton, you've aided in the most fiendish crime I've ever known.
What do you mean?
I mean that something intended to prevent war happened tonight, which instead may lead to it.
Why should we be silent about something the world will know tomorrow, Smith? Mr. Wilton, Rudolph Adlanes was murdered tonight.
Murdered?
You were used to bring Adlon and the woman known as the Countess Bartov together. You've heard the result.
But I...
Petrie, he's fainted. Lazio, head for port, and don't delay. Petrie and I'll remain on board. We'll put about and follow.
Si, signore.
Well, let's see if Wilton's recovered. Come along, Petrie.
All right.
There's something wrong with that steward, Petrie.
You mean Lopez?
Yes. I've a feeling I've seen him before, but I can't recall where. Well, how is he?
He's all right now, sir. The excitement...
Well, don't you carry a doctor?
No, sir. But there are some tablets here.
No, I'll take no drugs.
Is that wise, Mr. Wilton?
Help me up, Lopez. There. I've found that a small glass of whiskey never does any harm. I hope you gentlemen will join me. Lopez, the whiskey, please.
Yes, sir.
There. To the future, gentlemen.
There! Dr. Fu Manchu by the porthole.
What? Oh, there's no one here. The deck is empty.
Oh, forget it, Mr. Wilton. It's the strain. I'll finish your drink, Petrie. Perhaps I might rest a while if there's an available cabin.
Why, certainly.
You rang, sir?
Oh, yes, Lopez. Show Mr. Smith and Dr. Petrie to cabin A. We have an hour sailing ahead. Oh!
Another attack. Please help me get him on bed. I think he will recover if he lies down.
Yeah, very well. Here.
Petrie. Petrie,
Leland, what is it?
I don't know.
Good Lord! Leland!
The Shadow of Fu Manchu.